What's up everyone, David here, and 2021 will be an amazing year for Megadeth fans. Nocturne is scheduled for a release in spring 2021 here in the West, and we also got a date for freaking SMT V 2021. My bet, holiday, probably a holiday title for this game. But anyways, today we are here, at least I am here, to bring you guys preparations, or how can I say it, to introduce people who've seen the trailer for SMT V, but who are not necessarily familiar with the series. I want to tell them where they should start, and I also want to take a look back at Shin Megami Tensei IV, since I think this is an amazing place where you guys should probably start with this franchise. So, just before I start the video, Nocturne Remastered HD, I am giving out a copy of this game here on the channel. You can choose Switch version, PS4 version, digital, physical, it doesn't matter. I will pick a winner in a few weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks. And what you have to do is to be subscribed to the channel. I'm giving away the copy to one of my subscribers. All you have to do is click the link afterwards in the descriptions below. You have to write an email address so I can contact you if you are the winner. So now, let's get right into the video. So what I want to suggest for you guys who think SMT V looks cool but want to be introduced to the franchise before it gets released is a 3DS or a 2DS. Let me explain. You guys, it's a 2DS in 2020, yes, I'm suggesting that, and it's because it's a super cheap alternative to being able to play SMT games. It's also very accessible. Some people will say, oh, you should buy a PS2, there's a bunch of cool titles. Yes, they are right, but it's super cheap to buy a 3DS today, and to find a game is still pretty easy. At least, the game that I want to talk about today is easy to find. SMT IV. So Shin Megami Tensei V came out all the way back in 2013. This game looked incredibly good. To see the third-person viewpoint on a damn 3DS was super impressive. I remember being really impressed, at least at the time. This game, I'll do a quick summary of the story without giving out any spoilers, just so you guys know what you're getting into if you want to try this game now in 2020. At the beginning of the game, you'll travel to the kingdom of Mikado, where you have the wish to become a samurai and protect your kingdom. So to become a samurai, you'll have to overcome a few challenges, including the Gauntlet trial, which I will talk about in a few minutes. To become one, as I said, you have to beat those challenges, and then you'll meet a bunch of friends. You'll meet Isabeau, Walter, and Jonathan, 3 characters that I really liked, that you will learn to love during the whole story. Personally, if I have to pick a favorite, Walter was my favorite. He has kind of a ghetto attitude and I liked it, and it was really interesting to have him in my party most of the time. So shortly after you're done with your first steps that you have to go through to become a samurai, you will meet a great foe to the kingdom of Mikado and the rest of the world, the Black Samurai. You'll have to chase him and you'll have to go to the city of Tokyo, and during your playthrough, as I said, you'll fight a bunch of demons. You'll fight a freaking Minotaur, and then you'll fight Azrael, and you'll fight Black Frost. You'll fight a bunch of cool demons, and you'll have a bunch of epic fights to go through as well. Yes, that Minotaur fight is infamous for being pretty hard at the beginning of the game, but overall, this game is not the hardest SMT game. Even if you're not familiar with the series, and even if you're not a Megaton veteran, you will be able to play through this game. A bunch of people that I know have been introduced to SMT, myself included, because of this game. So yeah. Speaking of battles, the battle system in this game is one of the best aspects of the game, in my opinion. It is really addictive, and that's for all the SMT games, honestly. It's freaking great to try and get the most combos by targeting the weaknesses of your enemies, and it's super satisfying when you get additional turns because you were able to exploit the weakness of the demons. If I have to give a tip for any newcomer, again, don't overlook the weaknesses system. This is something that you will have to exploit if you want to succeed. And also, on the contrary, you have to equip your party members the right way to avoid being exploited when it comes to your weaknesses by the enemy. So if, for example, you're fighting a boss that uses ice spells, well, you definitely want to wear an equipment where you will be resistant to ice spells. So before battles, sometimes you'll just get into the battle, you'll look at the spells, you'll get wrecked, and then you'll go back, you'll recruit the right demons, and you'll get the right equipment to fight this particular battle. And speaking of demons and recruiting demons, in Shin Megami Tensei, including 4, you get the mechanic called Demon Negotiation. This is a mechanic that has been in a bunch of SMT games and even Persona games. It's a really cool mechanic. Well, you have to speak with a bunch of jerk-ass demons, and you gotta convince them to join your party. This is a mechanic that I have always liked. Some of the sentences that the demons are telling you, whether they want to join the party or not, are super funny, and I always look forward to hearing those speeches when it comes to a new game in the franchise. A cool feature that there is in this game is the Samurai Gauntlet that you gain by beating the Gauntlet trial at the beginning of the game. In this Gauntlet, you have an artificial intelligence called Burrows, and this intelligence will help you during your whole playthrough of the game, basically. What I really liked is that this intelligence has a lot of possibilities for you. You can install apps inside this intelligence, and those apps will help you throughout the story. As you level up during the game, you gain access to new points where you can purchase apps and download them on Burrows to get better, basically. I'll give a few examples of the apps that are really helpful just so you understand what I'm talking about, but you have the ability to add skill slots to be able to use more skills during battle. So maybe at the beginning you'll have like 4 skill slots where you can use 4 different spells in battle, but at the end of the game you'll be at like 10. So this is a really cool option that you have. Another app that you can use is HP and or MP recovery. Even when you're not in battle, when you're moving, when you're simply walking, you gain back your HP, you gain back your MP, so those are super helpful. So again, another quick tip, if you have a hard time in the game, you can simply grind a bit, level up a bit, and then buy new apps that will help you to beat where you're stuck in the game. Now another thing that is super awesome about SMT 4 is the music, and that's a general point for all the SMT games. The music is always top-notch. Most of the soundtrack in SMT 4 is composed by Ryota Kozuka. You might have heard his work in Persona 4 or part of it in Persona 5, Devil Survivor 2, and a bunch of other Megaton games. A bunch of the tracks in this game are super well composed and they really do fit the atmosphere. Stands out for me are the Tokyo soundtrack. So when you're exploring Tokyo, and believe me, you will be lost and you will be exploring a bunch of Tokyo, you get to listen to this soundtrack. It's super cool, super relaxing. And of course, all the teams in Naraku, which is the big dungeon in this game, all the teams, depending on the stage where you are also really cool. And I have to give an honorable mention to the boss battle teams. They're always amazing. Now, if you don't know already, Megaton games have an alignment system. What is the alignment system, you'll ask? Well, it's depending on your choices in the game, you'll get a different ending. You can either get the neutral ending. This is when you don't necessarily choose a side. Then you can get the chaos ending, which is like the darkness side of things, and then the law ending, which is obviously when you respect the law and you work with angels to beat the game. So depending on your choices, you get a particular ending. Now, a warning that I want to give you guys: some people will say before they try the game, I absolutely, or they'll ask, which ending should I get? Which ending's the best one as a newcomer? Well, forget it. Forget about that. My suggestion would be just decide on your actions depending on what you would do in this particular situation. Choose yourself. Don't follow a walkthrough to get a specific ending. Just play it yourself, enjoy the ending that you get, and then if you want to go back and experience the 2 other endings, then you can learn or you can read or watch a walkthrough to help you to get the ending that you want. But at first, I'd recommend just playing through the game, enjoy your experience, and get the ending that you have to get depending on your choices, basically. So this is pretty much all I had to say about SMT 4, guys. It's a really good game. You should definitely try it out. If SMT 5 looks just a bit interesting to you, SMT 4 is a super great place to start. It's cheap. You can probably find a 3DS and the game for around $100. And it's super good. And while we're at it, you have a 3DS in hands. If you followed my advice, there's a bunch of other games that you can experience on the platform when it comes to Megaton. You have the Devil Survivor games, Devil Survivor 1 and 2, Strange Journey Redux, the Persona Q games, and of course you also have SMT 4 Apocalypse, Soul Hackers, which are all amazing games, and you get access to all of that library if you buy a 3DS. So it's definitely something that if you want to get into SMT, I would recommend buying. Now, of course, if you already own a PS2, there's also a bunch of cool games that are, for whatever reason, available on Amazon right now, so you guys can pick those up as well if you don't mind retro gaming a bit. You go back to PS2, you can play the digital Devil Saga games, you can try Nocturne if you don't plan on buying the remaster next year. You can play the Persona games if you're not familiar with them, and if you have a lot of money to spend, or if for whatever reason you already own the games, there is also the Raidu games, which are amazing games as well. So all of those will introduce yourself to the Megaten community and to the world of those games, which are amazing. The Megaten community is a really niche community. We like those games, and I really hope I can get some of you guys to try the series out if it looks just a tiny bit interesting to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. I just wanted to give my thoughts and advices on what you should do and why I think SMT 4 is an amazing game if SMT 5 looks interesting to you. If you want to stay up to date on anything Atlus, Shin Megami Tensei, or Persona, please consider hitting that subscribe button to stay up to date. And also, I post twice a week. I post Tuesday, Thursday, at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is every single week. And on Wednesdays, when we have news about Atlus stuff and also JRPG stuff in general, I will post a DC news episode so you guys can learn what's going on in the world when it comes to JRPGs. So I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching.